have a feeling I'm going to deeply regret this decision. Sometimes we have to do hard things. Today's video, we're gonna be doing a 24-hour reading challenge, and we're gonna see how many books I can read in 24 hours time. And I'm going to try very, very, very hard not to go to sleep in this video. So I hope you follow along, enjoy the journey, enjoy this face as it, you know, gets progressively worse throughout the day. But it is currently 10:04 a.m. and we're gonna start the timer now. So there's no time like the present. Let's get into this reading challenge. We're gonna start with a book that's a little unconventional and not something I would normally pick up, but it really piqued my interest when I picked it up earlier this year, and that is Starter Villain by John Scalzi. He wrote the Kaiju Preservation Society, which was really popular about a year or two ago, and I don't know. I have high hopes. I think this is gonna be a good one. It's short, it's not really long, and yeah, 250 pages. I think this is a good first choice, and if it puts me in a reading slump, I do have a second book that I think will get me out of that. So let's get to reading.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who...
Taking a quick break, I needed to get the next book for this video, and I decided I would do the next book in the Powerless series, which is Powerful by Lauren Roberts. It is a novella, so it's not technically not a full book, but it counts. So we're gonna go in, grab the book, peruse the shelves, and see if there's anything else fun we can find. I'm currently 3 hours into my 24-hour reading challenge, and I'm about halfway through book 1. But yeah, come with me to Barnes & Noble.
My cries and watch me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
I don't think I mentioned it before, but this book, Starter Villain, is essentially a sci-fi villain novel. It has sentient cats. Think if you like Despicable Me and Garfield, you will like this book. I'm about halfway through it and it's very entertaining. But I don't know where we're going with this, essentially. But it's fun. Quick update. It's not that this book is boring, okay? It's just that it's pure vibes. Not much going on. Not that there's not much going on, but there's nothing really making me want to pursue and speed read through this. It's very cozy reading. Nothing's happening that is making me want to turn the page. So yeah, this could potentially be a reading slump, but I'm hoping to finish this book in the next couple of hours to get through the next one, because we're already 8 hours in and I'm only halfway done. Yeah.
That sounds terrible. You put it that way. It took 8 hours to read 100 pages.
Yeah, literally it's taken me 8 hours to read about 100 pages. Give or take a couple of breaks to eat and make coffee and stuff, but yeah, so far not on the best start. But again, it's not that it's a bad book, it's just maybe not the best choice for this challenge. Had to take another break because it's dinner time, and I made personal homemade pizzas. Let me show you really quick because I'm very proud of myself. Get her in all her glory. This is cauliflower crust, and half of that is no cheese because I don't eat cheese. Looks amazing. All right, so we are going to be starting Powerful now. The story setup for this takes place still in the kingdom of Ilya, still in technically like the purging trials time, but we have the point of view of Adina. So because this is a novella, you have to have read book 1 to understand. anything that happens in this book. And without getting into spoilers, this is Adina's story and events leading up to what happens at the end of book 1. I have hopes, like I have an idea in my head for what I hope will happen. And I'm sure people reading this may agree that they have like hopes for how this book will end. I don't know. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but it's a tiny, tiny book. Not very big. Yeah, we're gonna breeze through this. I'll keep you posted. I have no one to blame. I have no one to blame but myself for how this ended. Because I knew in my soul, I knew deep, 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 deep down how this book was going to end. And yet I convinced myself of something so different, and I got my heart broken again. Why do I even try? Why even try? And why did she write this book? Was it amazing? Yes. But still, what's the point? I need someone that has read this book to tell me, to empathize with me. I need a good reason because I can't come up with anything. A couple more thoughts. Again, I'm not gonna get into spoilers, but like McFadden, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. I really hope we see him in book 2 because he deserved so much more than what he was given. Honestly, everyone deserves so much more than the cards they were dealt. But this poor boy, I'm just so upset. Like, you saw I was crying. I was physically unwell. Yeah, I really hope book 2 rights the wrongs here. 17 hours in, and we're starting book 3, Housemaid Secret. This is book 2 in the Housemaid series. I think there's gonna be a 3rd book. Has the same girl as book 1, but it's a whole different plot. I don't really know what to expect because I don't know how do you make a thriller into a sequel, you know? Like how is that a thing? If you have not read The Housemaid, I recommend it. It was so fast paced, and I'm hoping this book does the same and that I can just whiz through it. that's what I need right now. I need something that I can just speed read through. It's fast paced. It'll get things going because we're struggling over here. And I don't know how much longer I can do. I'm trying really hard. Hoping Freida McFadden helps out a girl. Because I need all of the prayers. I need all of the help to survive the rest of the night. Update. First half of the book is done. So it's like part 1, part 2. It's one of those situations where I really don't like the main character. I did not love her in book 1, but I really dislike her in book 2. I think she is selfish and naive and does not learn from her mistakes. We're just getting into the same trouble as book 1, essentially, just different stakes, but that's my 2 cents so far. Okay guys, I have had ample time to regroup and sleep and gather my thoughts on the books that I was able to read in this 24-hour reading challenge. This was difficult. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I go to bed early, I get really sleepy, like right around 8-9 o'clock. I'm done for the day, and making myself stay up all night to read these books was a challenge. I think what really threw me off was starting with Starter Villain. I had such high hopes for this book and it just fell flat for me. This book, I mentioned earlier, it didn't have any climax. Like, it kind of did, but it wasn't enough to make me want to find out or really care about what happens in this book. It was very anticlimactic. The whole setup of this world where we have villains and the satire behind it and big tech and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of funny. A little ironic for me personally, as my husband's in big tech and is in software and stuff and owns his own business. So it was kind of funny reading them making fun of people like that. And it's literally my life. I could see the humor behind it, but the overall arching story, it just wasn't that deep enough for me to be interested. And because this was my first read, even though it was short, it took me forever to get through. So that really threw me for a loop. It made me sleepy. And by the time I got to Powerful, I was just tired. I was struggling. You'll even see in some clips, there's no audio, and I may mention something or say something and you can't hear anything, and it's because I was so tired. I accidentally turned my audio off. So yeah, but Powerful was, I don't want to say it's a hot mess. However, I don't understand the point. This is a novella, if you don't know. Okay, this is book 1.5 of the Powerless trilogy, and this takes place in the same timeline as book 1, but with a side character. And I love Adina so much. She is just such a bright light, such a ray of sunshine. She's described so well in this book. Even the dedication is beautiful. It says, "To the girls with softer dreams, your purpose is just as powerful." She deserved so much better. Mikado deserved so much better. I just don't get it. If you've read Powerful, do you agree? I feel like most people are gonna agree that it was beautiful, it was beautifully written, but just so sad again. And like, I found myself ugly crying again, and for what? And The Housemaid's Secret. This book did what I wanted it to do, okay? Because this is the last book I read for the day. It was what got me through the last few hours. The 3 to 6 a.m. sprint was so hard. I wanted to give up, but thankfully my brother was struggling next to me. He stayed up with me and we were just doing squats, we were walking around the house, we were eating snacks, just trying to get through these books. And this book, because it's a thriller, it's suspenseful, it's a page turner, and I whizzed through it. It was the best book, honestly. If you're gonna do something like this, just pick thrillers. This book is divided into several parts, and we do get a flip, we get a switch similar to book 1 where the plot twist switches the POV and we get to read from the perspective of someone we don't expect to read the point of view from. And that made it extra interesting to read, so I liked that. I mentioned that I don't necessarily love our main character. I don't even remember her name, but she is just annoying. Ever since what happened in book 1 with her dealing with the people that she's a housemaid for, and this is a continuation of just her doing her thing as a housemaid, okay? She's trying to put things behind her, but obviously that doesn't happen, and she strings along this guy that she's seeing. It bothered me so much reading it. Like, I just wanted to grab her like this and speak to her like a child because she was acting like a child. It wasn't fair. I felt like she wasn't being fair to people. She was lying for no reason. A lot of things could have been prevented. Did it make me not like the book though? No. It was still a fun time. Will I read book 3 even though I don't know why there's gonna be a book 3? Obviously. So, yes. For all of my readings, I'm going to give Starter Villain a 3 stars. It wasn't bad, it was just poor timing on my part. I should not have read this for the challenge. I should have read it at my own pace. Could have been a little more enjoyable. I found certain parts to be quite funny and just interesting with the whole sentient cats thing. I thought it was interesting. It did remind me a lot of Despicable Me. So yeah, solid 3 stars. Take with it what you will. If you don't like satire, you will not like this book. I'm just gonna say that. Powerful, I'm gonna give 4 stars. This was, like I said, tragic, and again, I don't necessarily know why this book exists other than to make people cry. I don't know. Florin Roberts just likes to see me cry, but it was still entertaining to read. It was well done. Adina is a beautiful character. I'm glad at least I got to read her POV. So for that, I will give it 4 stars, but I can't do anything more than that because I just am very upset with the ending. And then The Housemaid's Secret, I will give a 3.75. I don't think it's necessarily like, oh my gosh, you have to read this. Thrillers, I don't give 5 stars to. I don't think I've ever given a 5-star rating to a thriller before, except maybe The Silent Patient. This just didn't do it for me in that regard. It did what it needed to do in terms of like just a thriller to get through and read and enjoy, but because it's a sequel to something I've already read, it was like, okay, I kind of know what to expect here, but it was still a good time and I whizzed through it. 3.75 stars, not quite a 4, but it was still a fun time and I recommend it. It's good. If you like Freida McFadden, this one was good. Yeah. Those are all the books I read for this 24-hour reading challenge. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, okay? It's a lot. I think it's a lot. And you're not doing anything all day other than eating and reading. It does a number on you. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I had fun. Let me know if this is something you want to see more of. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Until next time, I will see you in my next video. Bye.